Next up on CSS is color. So if you don't know much about color, or your current expertise of color is working with like paint and stuff, the way computers work are different. So with pigments, your primary colors, please correct me if I'm wrong, your primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. I'm pretty sure 3 primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. Or yeah, red, yellow, and blue. Those are the 3 primary colors of pigment. Okay, so when you're mixing paints together, you can achieve every single color through those colors. However, that's not how it works in light. The 3 primary colors of light are red, green, and blue, RGB. As you've probably heard for like mice, or like RGB strips, LED strips, or whatever. You probably have heard it all over the place. So, basics of color theory. I'm just going to open up a paint document. Basics of color theory. You've got red as one axis, blue as another axis. I'm not going to use that blue. I'm going to use that blue. It's easier to see. Maybe not. Whatever. And then you've got green as a third axis going that way. And it creates a quasi cube. And I made that a little bit too long. So it makes it quasi. I'm going to do everything else in black. Makes it quasi cube. And boink, 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 boink. Come on. This sucks. I clearly am not a computer artist. So, at this point, it will be completely red. At this point, it will be completely, whoops, that's supposed to be blue. Blue. At this point, it's supposed to be actually completely lime green. At this point, it is completely black. And at this point, it is completely, whoops, it is completely white. Okay, although you can't see that. So, and basically, in this grid, you go from 0 to 256, or 1 to 200, or 0 to 255, or 1 to 256, 1 to 256. As you approach red, it will get slowly and slowly towards red. 1 to 256, 1 to 256, and if you have 256, 256, 256, it turns into white. And then this is like a violet blue, or violet. This is a yellow. This is no, that's an orange, I think. I don't remember exactly. I don't care. Doesn't really matter. I'm not very good at it. But basically, RGB is like this. And then you have HSL, which is, this is Cartesian. If you know Cartesian coordinate plane, you have an X, Y, Z coordinate plane. Although it's not a plane, it's a coordinate system. HSL is a cylinder. So you've got your cylinder like that. Okay. And another circle. This sucks. All right. This looks like that Star Trek thing with the whales. You know what I'm talking about? It comes down and has a big orb. Anyway, so it's so stupid. Anyway, so in this, you have your hue, saturation, and lightness. I can't remember which is which. I'm pretty sure lightness goes out and saturation comes in. Saturation comes through that. I don't remember exactly what it is, but basically you've got your red for 120 degrees, and then your green, red, blue, green. Maybe it's red, green for the next 120, and then your blue for the rest of the 120. And so essentially that's taking these axes. From what I understand, this is basically taking this point. I'll use black. Taking this point and moving it towards the center, and these 3 kind of turn into like this weird circle around it. It turns it into a polar coordinate system. And so it's warping this space to create this. If you care about linear algebra and how space warps and all of that stuff, I don't know the exact how it does it, but it's polar. So as it comes out, it gets brighter. No, wait. HSL graph is probably, you've seen it on the color wheel. No, it's saturation. Okay, so as it comes out from the center, I feel like I'm clipping opaque, check, 1. Okay, never mind. Sounds fine. So as it comes out from the center, you get more saturated, I think. Again, I'm more versed on this side. So it turns more into that color. So this will turn white into red. This will turn white into green. But as you get further this direction, say if you're on this point, this will turn gray. I think this entire ring is gray, and then this point is black. I think. I'm like 96% sure on that one. More like 38% sure, but whatever. I'm making up numbers if you can't tell. So, yeah, the HSL, I'm pretty sure. Oh, all of it's black. I don't think that's right. Maybe it's a cone. I don't know. It would do the same thing. Whatever. You understand, HSL is based on the color wheel, whereas RGB is based on this coordinate system, this cube coordinate system. Both of them are capable of producing the same number of colors. Okay, they're just two different methods of approaching them. So, you also have named colors, which are like pink, tomato, I don't know, green. You got all sorts of stuff, and you can actually change whatever. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, you've got a list of named colors. CSS named colors. Let's take a look at that. Yep, there we go. You've got all of these colors that you can use. Fantastic. All right, so all of those are just inherited with CSS. So let's go to next. So it's going to want us to set the H1 to be midnight blue. So we did a little bit of color before. So H1, we're going to change color midnight blue. So this is a, control question mark did not comment that properly. That's stupid. So midnight blue is just a named color. So as you go to here, you can see something changed. I don't know what it was. H1. It's probably up at the top. Yeah. Oh God, that font sucks. Anyway, so next set the background H1 to be aqua. Run. Oh my God. This is terrible. Background color. Oh, whoops. This is going to be terrible. This is going to be so bad. That looks horrible. Okay. Yeah, I'm not one to teach you about color palette. I'm not good at color palettes. I don't understand it. Watch other YouTube videos for it. This looks terrible. Okay. Anyway, hexadecimal. So hexadecimal is the same exact thing as RGB. It runs the exact same way. You've got your red, you've got your green, and you got your blue. Okay? Same thing. Inside of here, you got your red, you got your green, you got your blue. Every set of letters is one axis. Okay. And they're also shorthands, which is useful. So all 6 0, you just do 0 0 0, and you can also shorten if you want to make it 100% green and blue, but no red. You do 0 FF to shorthand this. So you can it basically is a way to compress your colors into a thing. It's hexadecimals. It's just a new, not new. It's just a different system of counting that is more compressed. Stores more information and less stuff. So yeah. All right. Browser is a web page that uses name colors and hex colors. Great. Name color dark sea green and change it to that. So let's find dark sea green. We're just going to change it to that. Run. Yay. That did something. Find the other 4 named colors. Sienna. It'd be great if these were in order. Yep, that's in order. Brown, yep. And black. Run. Yay. I love how they put the color on here, but they didn't have us delete this. This is actually an error, but it's going to be doing this one because it's the furthest down. So anyway, that didn't change anything because those named colors represent that. So, yay. RGB. Yep. RGB is the same thing as hex. It's the same thing. So, find the hex value. This. Control C. I don't want to find it. I want to find that. Okay, great. So, the way to do RGB and HSL, you can also have the alpha value, which is basically how transparent it is. So, RGB, you do 23, comma 45, comma 23. Great. This will, wait, that's not right. 143, okay. You do this. That's the right one. So as you can see, hex stores less information, but RGB is easier for us to read. We can tell that there is more green than there is red and blue, but red and blue are even. And so you can tell that this would be green, right? Find the hex value. That great. A05 yada yada yada. Okay. Boink, and then 8B. It's you. Boink, boink, run. Great. Didn't do anything because it's all the same. So, hex and RGB in the dot green field, change it to that. Run the code. Can you see the difference? All right. So, dot green. Wants to change from this or that to that. So I have a feeling that's that thing. Run. I don't see a difference. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I have bad eyes. I don't know. The dot light. Why are we undoing everything we just did? Okay, I think that made these a little bit brighter. I don't know. Maybe that didn't change anything. This is probably the placebo effect. Dot city. Great. Why are we changing this back? There is no point to doing this. Why? 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 Whatever. Vienna. Great. Why didn't you just make me do this all in one thing and waste my time? Okay. Vienna. Let's see if we can actually see it. Vienna. That's probably that guy. Now I want coffee. God dang it. Okay. Vienna roast. Oh, yeah. I can't tell a difference at all. Okay. Italian. Oh, yeah. This is going to be identical. Yeah, would you look at that? It's a little bit grayer. Great. Yeah, the red didn't make much sense. Coffee does not do that. We roast coffee at my house. We import it from Latin America and roast it ourselves and French press. It is the best coffee I have ever had every single day. It is fantastic. I love it. All right, great. Hue HSL. All right, this whole video is turning out to be also rather long, but I already described HSL. You've got your red, goes to blue, goes to green, okay? As you can see, that's what's happening here. Although I did it backwards, doesn't really matter, okay? Maybe this isn't white. Am I wrong? Whoops. Whatever, I don't really know. That's weird. That would mean that this entire line is the same color, which doesn't make sense to me. That makes absolutely no sense to me. All right. So in the browser, a simple web page with some colored rectangles. Great. Mid-ground to be 25%. Mid-ground. Okay. So we're going to modify the lightness of mid-ground. So HSL, hue, saturation, lightness will be hue, saturation, lightness. He's going to change this to 25%. Run. That's probably this blue. Yeah, it made it a little bit darker. So that makes sense. You're lowering your lightness, so it's going to make it a little bit darker. Let's change the saturation of the foreground to be 50%. Saturation of the foreground to be 50%. Saturation will make it more like its own color, I think, is kind of the idea. Yeah, and so if you with the lower saturation, it'll make it more gray. Okay, so set the background color to 240 degrees. Yeah, it's in degrees, not radians, which kind of sucks. Whatever. So from 60 to 240. 60 is the yellowish. Yep, as you can see. 240, this will turn bluish. Run. Yay, it's bluish. Great. So let me just verify that I said that correctly. So the midground, let's make the saturation 15%. Run that. Yeah, see how that turned it darker? If I make saturation 0%, it should be black. Or not. Never mind, I am wrong about that. Again, not good at color theory. So if I make this 100%, what happens? Yeah. I just copy this, paste it here so you can compare the two, 50%. You can see that these are like the same color, but one is grayer, right? And then I'll do another one with the saturation of 0%. Yeah, zero saturation is grayer. Yep. All right, again, not great at color theory. Just I am kind of I'm not making this up, but I'm learning about it. All right, opacity. Oh, the alpha value is opacity. You have to do HSLA, RGBA, and then hex A also has a alpha value. Basically, it's from 0 to 1, and it's 0% to 100%, but normalized to 1. So give the element with the foreground of alpha value of 0.6. Foreground, you have to do HSLA, comma, 0.6. Or maybe it's, yeah, run. Now, see how it's more opaque. Midground to 0.4, comma, 0.4. I have to put the A in. I presume I'm going to have to put an A on the next one. Which you can do RGBA. You can also do it with hex. Great. So it turned it from a bluer background. RG. This is a green background. To being really white because the background is default to white. So yeah. All right. Although it didn't do hex. Okay. Okay. So if I'm going to do this in hex, RGBA to hex A. Great. Submit. Background opacity 0.1. Okay. No, there's a way to do it. Hex A in CSS. I have done it before. Hex A has a thing. You can make the last... Have I not done it before? Am I just making this up? No, I swear I'm not making this up. There is a way to do it. I am so certain. Yeah. Okay, I was right. So if I'm going to do this, this will be, whoops, 00FF00, okay, all green. And they wanted it like 60%. So let's find 60%, 99. This should do the same thing. Wait, that didn't do the same thing. Although it did work. Okay, so it's not 99. Maybe it's a little bit less. Like 33. I don't know, but you get the point. You can also do it with hex, which they should have told you. But they didn't. Yeah, it's around 33. Yeah, so they should have explained that. It's not just 6 digits. You can have 8 digits, and the last 2 are the alpha value. Okay. Again, I like Code Academy, but there are some things that they just don't showcase, and it's kind of frustrating. So anyway, that's why I'm doing these videos. There's more information than this can show. All right. That's it for colors, I think. Let's see what's next. Oh, it's that thing. Okay, great.